In today's video, we are going to be painting some of the parts for the new Miata. The hardtop was black, and then we had some other body parts that were red. As you'll see, we already painted not only the hardtop, but also our new NB2 bumper. The bumper turned out pretty much as good as I wanted it to be. Because we didn't do any filler work or anything, we're not even going to have to wet sand this. We're pretty much just going to throw this straight on the car as is, and maybe just do like some 3000 grit just to get some of the nibs off, and then from there just install it. For the most part, I'm just doing a stuff and spray on the parts until we completely tear down the car, do all the body work on that car, and get it painted 100% nice. But that's not going to happen for a while because we really need to start working on this Cressida and get this thing out of the way and finish first. I just wanted to quickly paint some of the pieces, make that car look halfway decent along the way of working on this thing. We are in the middle of working on this thing right now, finish up some stuff. We're going to install the bumper and the new headlights right now, but as you'll see, we had some issues painting the hardtop. I painted this bumper during the day, but we painted the hardtop at night, and the bugs were horrible. This hardtop, honestly, I thought was not going to be able to be salvaged. After I took it out and put it on the Miata and stood back a couple of feet, it actually looks good enough. Again, we just did a stuff and spray, no body work at all. I just wish it would have turned out a little bit better. A couple of issues. Bugs. Oh my God! The bugs got everywhere. They were getting in the paint. I tried digging one out one place here so you can see all the way back down to the black, which we don't have to get too close there, but basically I tried pulling it out. It made a little mark, not good. We ended up with like 9 other bugs in this hardtop, and they are deep. They're really, really deep. They are like solidified in there. We are gonna have to wet sand this to try and salvage it. There's no way we're gonna be able to just leave it as is. We're either gonna have to repaint it or wet sand it, and we're gonna try and wet sand it first because there was one major thing. There was a bug that was about to land on it. I had the spray gun in my hand. I went to spray it away because if you pull the trigger only like halfway back on the spray gun, it only sprays air, so I tried to spray it away, and I didn't have the top on the gun, and a ton of clear, basically half the cup, sloshed and went right here, and so we have a ton of clear that's kind of on here. Luckily, it evened out pretty good. Hopefully we can salvage this a little bit, but it's on the car. It's hard to tell if you're standing back a little bit. And again, we are going to be completely redoing all of this stuff, body working it perfectly later down the line. I really just want everything to be one color. So I'm sure there's some forums or something how to swap the NB1 front end to this NB2, but just for those of you who are interested, I wired up this one headlight. It's super easy. Basically, the thick wire is the high beam, the other one is the low beam, and then obviously the white one, I think, or the black one is the ground. It's super obvious, but with a voltmeter or voltmeter, whatever it is, I just checked super quick. And then I lightly hooked them up, made sure it all works. So this one's all good. And now we're going to transfer it to the other side, do the same exact thing. We did heat shrink each of the connectors, and then from there electrical taped them all the way through. And so there shouldn't be any issues with water or anything like that. Basically, we have to do the other headlight, install that. I think the one thing we did wrong taking this front end apart is that I think you should do the bumper first and then the headlights. Whereas, you know, we're going to do it headlights and then bumper, put it all back together. It's the next day. This project's taking a little bit longer than expected. One of the headlights, I accidentally switched the high beam and a low beam wire, and then we had to figure that out. And I was wondering why the low beam still wasn't working on the car, and it turns out that the bulb was just bad, so I had to go get the bulb. Now they're working, the headlights work perfectly. Also, we have to rivet this piece onto the bumper, this metal piece here. I didn't have the proper size rivets, and then nowhere was open that I could get them, so obviously we had to wait till the next day. Now that thing's riveted on, as for everything else, everything is put into place and 100% ready to be put back onto the car. Another thing to think about when you are replacing the bumper from the NB1 to the NB2 is that you're going to want these little clips here, and then also these here, these little plastic pieces are different from the NB1 to the NB2. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and throw this bumper on. It should be a super quick process. It was really easy to get it off, and I'm excited to see how it looks with the new bumper, and then eventually we'll get to put on the hardtop as well. Couple last things before we finish out this video. I want to show you some of the smaller things that we did. Relatively insignificant. I did go ahead and put the window trim back on in this thing. It didn't really fit all that well. I know that when you pull this off, it kind of goes around the other side, and we tried cleaning it out a little bit, all the window sealant in there. But I think it doesn't really want to fit all the way perfect in a couple areas. I think I'm going to wait till it's a little bit warmer day. Maybe just try and slide it in there. I did get some sealant. I was going to seal it back on there. I don't know. We're gonna get that situated later. For now, this is okay. I also did get some rubber, like the door edge pieces, and I put it in here just so the latches aren't clanking around on the Frankenstein bolts. And I did pick up this little shorty antenna from AutoZone. The radio antenna that this thing comes with is just obnoxious. This car is super base model, so it doesn't have the retractable one. And either way, this is better than the big one. And so I think other than that, and then we also did cut and buff the roof, and so I think it's pretty much where it's going to stay for now. It looks shiny, it looks pretty good. It's honestly not as bad as I really thought it was going to be. I really thought I was going to have to redo this thing without a doubt. Even if you guys see it in person, it's really not that bad actually. It's really just the bugs that are in the clear coat that kind of annoys me a little bit. It just looks like there's some specks in there. So unless you're looking really closely, you're not going to notice. But overall, I think this car is looking so much better. The front end, I love this front end. This front end honestly makes the car look so much better, so much more adult. The hard tops obviously make the car a ton better. But just now that it matches the car, this thing's a little bit less janky, I would say. Oh, one more thing. Kind of ricey, but I think they're kind of cool, and they're $10 on Amazon. These things here, I don't even know what the hell they're called. They're like mirror things. I don't know. I think they're kind of cool. I see them on a bunch of cars all the time. I figured I'd pick them up super cheap. Anyways, guys, that is about it for today's video. If you guys are interested in helping out the channel in the progression of my builds, go ahead and pick yourself up some merchandise. It is highly appreciated. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.